I also wanted to just touch on the other end of the spectrum of how there are individuals that are brought up in very affluent families who have immense amounts of support around them, family, friends, and money. But sometimes they end up on the streets. So, I'm a big believer in, life is kind of like a game of poker. You could be dealt a very poor hand but play very well and end up with a royal flush, or you could end up with a fantastic hand of cards but completely just ruin it and lose the game altogether. Wow. How many days into your bout of homelessness did you gain enough money panhandling to sort of afford your first bit of food with money that was given to you? And what did you eat? Where did you go?
Well, before
What was your experience like when you went to that place?
before I head out, actually, I did donate a bunch of money to the Union Gospel Mission because I assumed that I'd be eating there a lot. I made sure that I donated. I think it was 77 meals, but I was going to only have 7, so I wanted to give back, at least 10 times as much. And I kept track of the money that I got from panhandling, and since today I've returned that, a lot more than probably tenfold. But the thing is, when I was eating there, you don't have when you are homeless. I mean, I'm totally generalizing. It was only a week, right? Like it's not. That's not even a taste. You don't have as many choices for foods, so as people who have the luxury of eating, buying or whatever they want. So diet's obviously much worse. You can't get as much healthy food as you could if you have money. And but overall, food wasn't really the major issue for me because I guess maybe it was Christmas time and people are more generous during that time. So, and it was actually really weird for me because there were times when I was really hungry and somebody, like random person, would just come up and say, "Oh, here you go. Do you want, a hot chocolate? And how about this sandwich?" And I was like, "Okay, I was hungry. How are you?" Like it's weird, and I think those kind of things happen actually quite a bit when you're homeless. There's something that kind of takes care of you. At least that's the experience I had when I was there.
Fantastic. And Nemo, what do you feel is the biggest misconception that people have these days about people who are homeless?
Quite a bit, actually. I mean, I guess most people would assume that people who are homeless are not intelligent, all addicted to drugs, liars, cheaters, thieves. And none of them are actually true. I mean, there are exceptions everywhere, of course. Some people are like that, but I think one of the things in our society that we unfortunately seem to believe in is that poor people are bad, and it's bad to be poor kind of thing. And and all those qualities that I mentioned also exist at the other side of the spectrum. Very rich people can be addicted to drugs. They can be liars. They can be cheaters. They can be anything really. And yeah, I think the sense of community that's down there is also a misconception. I think they have more of a sense of community there than we do here, for the most part. But there are many, and that's why I say people should find out for themselves. Right?
Yeah, definitely. Wonderful. Wow, I can't wait to hear more of Nima's story. We'll hear the other side of his story, the practicality of life, when we return. Welcome back. We're going to talk to Nima about life and his goals and aspirations and where he sees himself. Nima, when you were growing up, what was your childhood like?
Well, to be very general, I guess that I've never not had food. I've never not had shelter. So overall, there's always been, I guess abundance compared to the rest of the world. Definitely. I wouldn't consider myself very rich or anything. I would consider myself lower middle class. But, compared to the rest of the world, very well off, very rich.
Definitely. And so you're studying at UBC now. Where do you hope to see yourself in 5 years from now?
5 years. Well, I would definitely be doing more school, I think. Once I graduate with my second bachelor's, I'm considering doing my master's, preferably in the same field that I was doing before, just bioinformatics. I'm a research scientist. That's kind of where my heart lies. That's, it ties in with the homelessness thing, because I like to find out answers. That's what I'm here for, really.
Who are your inspirations?
I definitely say my family. They've been there for me, since I would say day one, but for my mom it'd be day minus 9 months, I guess, right? She's been there ever since, and all the people that I meet, even people who are mean to me or nice to me, any kind of people, you learn something from everyone. So I think everyone's an inspiration in some sort of way. You gain experiences from everyone. So I wouldn't like to single out people, but of course, my family has had the biggest effect on my life.
Definitely. And at the age of 29, you're a very empathetic, sympathetic individual. Where do all these qualities come from?
I would say maybe my family, I guess. Again, yeah. I do have my mother's side family that is very empathetic, sympathetic people. So maybe it's in my genes. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know.
Cool. And it's a reality of life. Not everything's handed to you on a silver platter. You have to work very hard to achieve certain goals. Have there ever been times where you've tried to achieve something and haven't quite gotten to that point? And if so, how have you moved forward?
Yeah, I used to have that. I have a different kind of perception on life now than I did before, but I totally understand your question. But I don't know. There are some things that people want, and a lot of the times it may not be the best thing for them at that point in time anyway. So it's kind of hard to say what's good and bad in your life, I would say, because we gotta face it. We don't know, if the thing that we're doing now is going to be good or bad. 10 years from now, 5 years from now, because we can't see the future. We don't know how what we're doing is related to what will happen next. The example that I usually give people is, if I cross the street and I break my leg at that point in time, it can't be a good thing. Like, no matter what you say, like, well, I'm in pain, my leg's broken, it's bad, but somebody walking by could help me and take me to the hospital, and that someone could turn out to be my best friend. That could be my wife in the future, and you never know. And if I was to say, okay, well, was me breaking my leg a bad thing at that point in time, it becomes so blurry that it's kind of hard to say what's good and bad. And to make it very general, the only time you can really say what's good and bad in my point of view is when you've passed away and somebody comes and tells you, okay, this is what life was about and this is how it all worked out. But by then it's too late. So I say don't worry about it. Just follow what your heart and mind kind of tells you to do, and then do your best and try to be nice to people, and I think good things will come your way.
Yeah, wonderful. It's almost like if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
Wonderful. Well said. Do you have any fears?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of the things that before I left, actually, to go on to the downtown east side, I was scared. I mean, I think most people would be. It's considered to be one of the poorest neighborhoods, and it's supposed to be one of the most dangerous neighborhoods. But I like facing my fears. I like to go right in there. If something scares me, I like to go there. And if spiders scare me, I like to put them on my hand, kind of thing, So
that's hilarious that you mentioned that, because that is my all-time #1 fear. So maybe I have to try that technique someday.
Yeah, I mean, there are different ways of doing it. But I did have. I think fear, to get a little bit philosophical, I guess, I think fear is mostly inside people's heads. I mean, you have to interpret the situation, and your interpretation of a certain, scene will make you fearful. So I think there was a quote like, the only thing you have to fear is fear itself. So if you have fear in your head, if you're scared of your surroundings, then you're going to create fear inside of you. So you can also do the opposite. And just embrace the moment, whether it's good or bad, and just not judge it, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Wonderful. We'll be right back.